Hello everyone, this is Battletoads, and I'm here to educate people of why two-hander can be effective on magic builds. Not many people have noticed the change after Dragon Bones with the buff to two-hander and staff, and I'm here to show you that a two-hander is very viable on a Magicka build, and why I prefer it over staff. Now, first thing is when I created this build was for 1vx and small man PvP. Um, because of that, I don't really have a lot of time to debuff multiple targets, being that I'm usually overwhelmed by multiple targets being outnumbered. And I really wanted to lay down as much damage as I can with as little buff time as possible. Um, I do sacrifice damage over time, DPS, damage per second, but I gain more burst damage by using a two-hander. And I will show you some tooltips as proof, and I will compare dual wield, two-hander, fire staff, and electric staff, just so that you can see the damage difference between all of these. Um, my playstyle isn't the best. I will never claim that I am the best at this game. I am the best at solo PvP or even small man. Um, Everything is viable. It just depends on how you play and how well you play it. I've been experimenting for months now, and I've really enjoyed the balance that two-hander gives me. So, the two-hander has a passive similar to dual wield, where if you have a sword, it increases your damage done by 5%. Um, this will buff any of your damage, not just two-hander abilities. So, getting to my tooltips, we'll use Soul Assault as an example, just so that you can see the damage difference between the abilities. With my two-hander, my Soul Assault is hitting for 70k, and some change, right? I equip the staff ability just so I get my staff passives. So the fire staff is supposed to give me 8% single target damage, and that is Soul Assault. Soul Assault is single target channel. So let's equip the staff. As you can see, my damage has gone down to 67%, even though it gives me 8% damage single target compared to the two-hander's 5%. I'm still getting less damage, and I'll show you why. With my two-hander, you have more weapon damage, and I'm talking about the actual weapons damage is 1800 compared to the staff's 1500. Weapon damage does play a role into your tooltips, so that is why the two-hander is giving me 3000 extra damage on my Soul Assault, and why it seems like I'm hitting harder. Now, if I were in a different situation, say a group, and I had time to cast Elemental Weakness on everybody, and light attack and all of that mess to gain ultimate and more damage, yes, the staff is going to outperform that with just light attacks and weakness elements adding more penetration. But I don't have the time to do that necessarily by myself. So I use the two-hander to get greater tooltips, because I have time to cast a few skills before I have to start kiting and recovering from the damage I just took. Now, let's compare dual wield. Pre Dragon Bones patch, most Templars used dual wield as their damage. Simply because it gave us they gave us another 5% bonus to all damage done. As you can see, I got Nirnhoned, Sharpened, which was the usual back then. And here I got 69k, which is close to two-hander. Maybe if I Nirnhoned both swords, it would be equal. But I find that the two-hander has passives that give you stamina recovery when anyone dies. And being that I play with such a low stamina pool to begin with, I really enjoy topping off my stamina when everyone dies. I also run Repentance to give me more stamina regen, so that I can run such a small stamina pool and still stay viable. Because Repentance gives me another 10% stamina regen, while the two-hander gives you more stamina regen when enemies die. And then I guess last I'll throw on the electric staff. It's right here. Now these are all known weapons, so I'm not trying to mislead you on these tooltips. As you can see here, it's 64k. My two-hander gives me 70, dual wield gives me 69, and fire staff gives me 67k. Even my jabs is smaller with the electric staff in comparison to the two-hander, which gives me, yeah, about 200 extra damage per jab. I just find two-hander to be a better balance between all of these, being that it buffs single target and AoE. So this is why I prefer two-hander over any of the other weapons on a Templar, simply for small man. Now if I was in a group setting or if I was doing PvE, I would obviously equip a staff because I have more AoE abilities and the ability to burst people down with the destruction ultimate. But since I run small man mostly and I'm usually outnumbered, I find the two-handers larger tooltips to help me more. None of these weapons are the best. They all have their own place, and I would really like to see more people switch up their builds, try different things. Nothing's ever set in stone, and I've never seen two players play identical builds and, you know, be just as effective. The reason I'm putting this information out there is not that I felt attacked or anything. I just wanted the general knowledge. So maybe you guys will stop asking me every day I log on. And yeah, I'm hoping that I see more viable builds in Cyrodiil, more variations, and I'd like to see you guys having fun, playing the way you want to. Anything is viable as long as you try hard to make it viable. And I hope to see you guys out here to kill me later. So, you guys have a good night. This is Battletoads. Please like and subscribe, and I thank you all for all your support. I'll be putting out more content soon.